Did you know that nearly 1 in 10 people are living with type 2 diabetes, and many don't even know it yet? What if I told you the warning signs can start years before diagnosis, and small daily changes could completely change your future? Well, type 2 diabetes is a very common health condition. Its impact on the body matters. It happens when your body's system for managing sugar stops working. Glucose is the fuel from your food. Glucose powers every cell in your body. To get fuel into cells, you need a key: insulin. On a neutral background. In type 2 diabetes, the locks on cells become rusty and resistant. This is called insulin resistance. Sugar can't get into cells easily, so it builds up in the bloodstream. That leads to high blood sugar levels. You might be reading this because you are worried for yourself or someone else. Understanding is the first step to managing it. In some cases, even reversing it. This is not about blame or fear, it's about empowerment. This guide gives clear, simple information. We will explore what causes it. We will explore what signs to look for. We will explore practical, science-backed steps you can take. Long-term high blood sugar can damage parts of the body: eyes, kidneys, nerves, heart, larger arteries. This might sound frightening. The good news: controlling blood sugar reduces these risks. The body can heal and rebalance with the right conditions. Learning about this is for everyone who wants a healthier life. Many people feel overwhelmed, but you are not alone. Millions live well with this condition. So, what are the underlying factors that lead to type 2 diabetes? It is rarely just one single thing, but rather a combination of factors that come together over time. The central problem, as we have touched upon, is insulin resistance. Your pancreas is still producing insulin. Muscles don't respond properly to insulin. Fat cells don't respond properly to insulin. The liver doesn't respond properly to insulin. To compensate, your pancreas works overtime, pumping out more and more insulin to try to force glucose into your cells. Eventually, the pancreas can start to get worn out and may not be able to keep up, causing blood sugar levels to rise persistently. Genetics certainly play a significant role in your predisposition to the condition. If you have a close relative, such as a parent with type 2 diabetes, your own risk is considerably higher. If you have a close relative, such as a sibling with type 2 diabetes, your own risk is considerably higher. This does not mean you're destined to develop it, but rather that your body may be more vulnerable to the other contributing factors. Age is another key element. Our risk naturally increases as we get older, particularly after the age of 40. This is partly due to a natural tendency to lose muscle mass as we age and to gain fat as we age. Lifestyle factors, however, are perhaps the most powerful and modifiable contributors. One of the biggest drivers is carrying excess body fat, especially visceral fat, the internal fat stored around your abdominal organs. This type of fat is metabolically active and releases inflammatory substances that directly interfere with insulin's job. A diet high in processed foods increases risk. Sugary drinks also fuel this problem. Refined carbohydrates contribute as well. Modern sedentary lifestyles, where we spend much of our day sitting, also contribute significantly by reducing our muscles' need for glucose. Finally, it is important to acknowledge that other elements can also increase your risk. Certain ethnic groups have a higher genetic predisposition: people of South Asian descent, people of African Caribbean descent, people of Black African descent. Certain medical conditions like polycystic ovary syndrome, even poor sleep patterns can have a surprisingly potent effect. Chronic stress can too. Stress hormones like cortisol can raise blood sugar and promote insulin resistance. Understanding these causes is not about assigning blame. It is about identifying the areas where you can take effective action. Type 2 diabetes often develops very slowly over many years, and its early symptoms can be so subtle that they are easy to dismiss or attribute to simply getting older or being stressed. However, your body often sends out quiet signals that something is amiss. One of the most classic signs is feeling excessively thirsty, a condition known as polydipsia. This happens because the excess sugar in your bloodstream pulls fluid from your tissues, leaving you dehydrated and constantly reaching for a glass of water. It is a thirst that often feels like it cannot be quenched, no matter how much you drink. You may need to visit the toilet much more frequently, especially during the night. This is called polyuria. Your kidneys are working hard to filter the excess glucose out of your blood. The only way to get rid of it is through your urine. As the glucose is flushed out, it takes water with it, increasing urination and worsening dehydration. If you find yourself waking up multiple times a night to go to the bathroom, it is a sign that should not be ignored. Unexplained fatigue is another major red flag. This isn't just feeling a bit tired after a long day. It is a profound exhaustion that persists even after a full night's sleep. This happens because your cells are not getting the glucose they need for energy. The fuel is stuck in your bloodstream, unable to enter the cells. As a result, your body is effectively running on empty, leaving you drained and struggling with daily activities. You might also experience an increase in hunger, as your body mistakenly thinks it's starving. Other symptoms can appear as blood sugar stays high. You might notice your vision has become blurry from the lens swelling when glucose is high. Cuts, sores, blisters, particularly on your feet, may take a very long time to heal because high blood sugar impairs circulation and healing. Numbness, pins and needles in your hands or feet, a sign of possible nerve irritation. If any of these symptoms sound familiar, speak with your doctor. If you present to your doctor with any of the symptoms we have discussed, they will likely recommend some simple blood tests to get a clear picture of what is happening. The most common test is the HbA1c, or glycated hemoglobin test. This provides a snapshot of your average blood sugar over the past 2 to 3 months. It measures how much glucose has attached to your red blood cells. A higher HbA1c percentage indicates higher average blood sugar. Another standard test is a fasting blood glucose test, blood sugar after at least 8 hours without eating. Once a diagnosis of type 2 diabetes is confirmed, your doctor or practice nurse will work with you to create a management plan. The primary goal is to bring your blood sugar back into a healthier, safer range and keep it there. This prevents long-term complications. The first line of attack is almost always lifestyle modification, guidance on changes to your diet, guidance on increasing physical activity. For many people, these changes alone can significantly improve blood sugar control. If lifestyle changes aren't enough, or blood sugar is very high at diagnosis, your doctor will likely prescribe medication. The most common first-choice oral medication is metformin. It reduces the amount of glucose your liver produces. It makes your body's cells more sensitive to insulin, so they take up glucose better. There are other types of tablets, and your doctor will choose what's appropriate for you. This happens when the pancreas can't produce enough insulin even with oral meds. Using insulin is not a sign of failure. It's the next step in effective management. Regular checkups are a cornerstone of good diabetes care. You will have your HbA1c checked periodically, you will have your blood pressure checked, you will have your cholesterol checked, annual eye checks, annual foot checks, annual kidney function checks to catch problems early. The purpose here is to break down the science into manageable pieces and give a calm roadmap. Managing type 2 diabetes effectively goes far beyond just medication and doctor's appointments. It requires a holistic, whole-person approach that addresses your daily life. Diet is a fundamental pillar of this approach. This does not mean you have to follow an impossibly strict or boring diet. Instead, focus on eating real, whole foods. Fill your plate with colorful, non-starchy vegetables, which are packed with fiber and nutrients. Choose lean sources of protein like fish, chicken, eggs, beans, lentils. Incorporate healthy fats from sources like olive oil, avocados, nuts, seeds. A Mediterranean-style diet is an excellent template for this way of eating. Movement is the other critical pillar. Physical activity is one of the most effective ways to improve your body's insulin sensitivity. Your muscles are the biggest consumers of glucose in your body, and when you exercise, they soak it up from your bloodstream, helping to lower your blood sugar levels. Aim for around 30 minutes of moderate intensity activity like brisk walking on most days of the week. It is also incredibly beneficial to incorporate some form of resistance training using weights or your own body weight a couple of times a week. Building or maintaining muscle mass is key to improving your metabolic health. We often underestimate the profound impact that sleep and stress have on our blood sugar. When you are sleep deprived, your body releases more of the stress hormone cortisol, which tells your liver to release more glucose and makes your cells more resistant to insulin. Aiming for a consistent 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep per night is not a luxury, it is a medical necessity. Similarly, chronic stress keeps your body in a state of high alert, which can wreak havoc on your blood sugar. Finding healthy ways to manage stress, whether it is through mindfulness, gentle yoga, walking in nature, or simply talking to a friend, is a vital part of your care plan. Your mental health is inextricably linked to your physical health. The thought of making big lifestyle changes can feel daunting, but the secret to long-term success lies in starting with small, manageable steps you can build upon. Consistency trumps intensity every time. Let's start with your drinks. One of the simplest and most impactful changes you can make is to cut out sugary beverages. Swap fizzy drinks for water. Swap sweetened juices for herbal tea. Swap sugary coffees for black coffee. This single change can remove a surprising amount of sugar and empty calories, giving your blood sugar levels an immediate break. Try it for one day, then another. Next, focus on adding, not just subtracting. Instead of dwelling on what you cannot eat, think about what you can add to your meals to make them healthier. A simple goal is to add a handful of non-starchy vegetables to at least one meal each day. Spinach, broccoli, peppers, add a side salad to your lunch, or toss some extra veggies into your evening meal. This not only boosts fiber and nutrients, but also helps to fill you up, making you less likely to overeat other, less healthy foods. It is a positive, proactive step that can easily become a daily habit. Incorporate more movement into your daily routine in a way that feels achievable. You do not need to join a gym or run a marathon tomorrow. A brilliant strategy is to go for a short 10-minute walk immediately after your main meal of the day. This post-meal walk is particularly effective because it helps your muscles use up the glucose from the food you have just eaten, blunting the typical blood sugar spike. It is a simple, pleasant habit that can make a real difference. Park further away at the shops. Take the stairs instead of the lift. These small bursts of activity all add up. Finally, make it a habit to be mindful of your body. One practical action is to check your feet every evening before bed. Look for any small cuts, blisters, redness, or swelling. Because high blood sugar can damage nerves, you might not feel a small injury on your foot, and catching it early can prevent it becoming a more serious problem. These daily actions, swapping a drink, adding a vegetable, taking a short walk, and checking your feet, are not overwhelming. They are small, consistent investments in your long-term health and well-being. We will move beyond the diagnosis to positive actions starting today. Small, consistent changes are often more powerful than you imagine. They form the foundation of a healthier future. Receiving a diagnosis of type 2 diabetes can feel like a turning point, and in many ways, it is. But it is crucial to see it not as an endpoint, but as a starting point for a new, more conscious relationship with your health. The science is clear. Many people with this condition can and do live long, healthy, and vibrant lives. The key is to take the diagnosis seriously, but not to let it overwhelm you with fear. With the right knowledge, support, and a series of small, positive actions, you have the power to take control of your health in a way you may never have thought possible. It is a journey of 1,000 miles that truly begins with a single step. Remember that you are not on this path alone. Your healthcare team, your doctor, practice nurse, and perhaps a dietitian are your partners in this process. They are there to provide medical guidance, monitor your progress, and adjust your treatment plan as needed. Do not be afraid to ask questions, express your concerns, and seek clarification whenever you are unsure about something. Building a strong, trusting relationship with your healthcare providers is fundamental to successful long-term management. They are a resource to be used, so lean on their expertise and support. The most important message I want to leave you with is one of hope. Research has shown time and again that lifestyle changes, particularly involving diet, exercise, can have a profoundly positive effect on type 2 diabetes. For some, especially those diagnosed early, it can even lead to remission, where blood sugar levels return to a normal range without the need for medication. This is not a guaranteed outcome for everyone, but it demonstrates the remarkable power you hold to influence the course of this condition. Be kind to yourself, celebrate small victories, and remember that progress, not perfection, is the goal. If you have read this and recognize some of the symptoms in yourself, or if you are simply worried about your risk, the most important next step is to make an appointment with your doctor. A simple blood test is all it takes to get the answers you need. Procrastination is not your friend when it comes to your health. Taking that step to get checked is an act of courage and self-care. Whether you are seeking a diagnosis or are already on your management journey, remember that every positive choice you make today is a gift to your future self. You can do this.